who's cool in H-Town? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Fox Files Cold and Unsolved, my show where I highlight the many murders and cold cases here in Houston, Texas, through my segment of My Beautiful Soul. And then I'll move on over to Dear Sister, dot, 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 a letter to let you know that you're not forgotten. Entire title. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Cass, H-Town's Army Brat. Let's get at it. So, again, thank you for tuning in. It's been a while. Of course, I always say it because it'd be a while. But I'm back. New season, new episodes, uh, new stories, new information, right? So if you're new to my show, thank you for tuning in. And if you are returning, welcome back. So as you know, I love to start it off with like an informative type of, not even a segment, like a little snippet of some information that maybe you need to know, maybe you don't need to know, maybe you know somebody who needs to know it. But if you know it, you know it. You know, hey, nothing wrong with having new information, correct? Anyway, so I like to always start it off with a did you know? You know, because again, you can need to know some certain type of information. So today's did you know? Uh, I'm you like, girl, you just jumping right on into it. Yes, I'm jumping right on into it because I'm ready to get this show on the road. You know what I'm saying? It's been too long since I recorded one, and I want to keep it going. So I want to get this out there so I can get some more information and get it going again. To get some more information out there, to get some more stories for you. So, did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a program called the Crime Victim Compensation Program? The Crime Victims Compensation Program. Crime victims and their immediate family who really use assistance with financial costs of crime of the crime. Costs such as counseling. Oh yeah. Mm. Costs such as counseling, medical treatments, funerals, and loss of income are certain things that are covered under this program. You know, because we all know when someone is murdered or raped, or any kind of crime committed towards an individual, we as the either immediate family or friends, or even the victim, are left picking up pieces, trying to get ourselves and our lives back together. So, the state of Texas, my slide is a little blurry, but it is what it is. The state of Texas has a crime victim compensation program to help with the financial issue. The program goals are to encourage the victims to participate in the apprehension and prosecution of a criminal, and to be reimbursed and to reimburse the innocent victims for certain costs related to this crime. Yes, it gets help. It helps to move the justice forward for the victim. Okay. So, but what the what the program is trying to encourage is for more participation when it comes to locating the criminal and getting this case solved. So if you are a family member or an immediate relative, close friend, then and you know something, then you can report what you know. And if what you know um brings brings this whole case to a head and brings the person to justice, then you can get reimbursed, or the family can get reimbursed for whatever they had to pay for. And like I said, it covers funeral costs, temporary emergency housing, crime scene cleanup, medical expenses, mental health counseling, physical occupation therapy, and lost wages. Because we have to pick up the pieces. So if somebody was murdered and you have to bury them, a lot of times you have to do GoFundMe accounts, to help pay for this. So once we can get the case solved, then they can go ahead and get you your company, get you reimbursed. So if you are interested in this program and want to know more about it, you can always, I think I thought I put the website down here, but I didn't, and whatever. But you can always call this number, and you'll be able to get the information that you need. They are open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. The Victim Compensation Program. This is what this is, ladies and gentlemen. So did you know that they had a program like this? And do you think it'll be beneficial to you if you are a person of this caliber to where you do qualify and you're eligible for the program? Do you think that this is something that you would want to participate in, or at least get a little bit of more knowledge on, even if you're not a person in this situation? And you might want to know a little bit more. A lot of people are into crime, not doing the crime, what I mean, but into reporting and, what I'm saying, digging into your business when it comes to your crimes. That's that. Yes, yes, yes. So that was my did you know? So yes, did you know about the set up again? Did you know of the Crime Victim Compensation Program? If not, here's the information again. Write it down, screenshot it, however you do. Again, thank you for tuning in. And if you've made it this far in this show, I thank you. And I ask you to please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Because that way, this information can get out to somebody who might need it, or who might be interested in it, and who might know something and want me to talk about it. So let's move on and on. It's time to move on to the next segment, which is very near and dear to me because it concerns my city, Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas. H-Town, baby, because this is where I talk about and I highlight the cold cases here in Houston. So, when I began this show, when I decided what I was going to actually do with Foxxx, because this is like the third rendition of me trying to figure out what I was going to do with my show, because I wanted a show, but I figured it out and I got it. So anywho, a certain case came up the very first time I went and I looked for cold cases in Houston, Texas, to the HPD website, Houston Police Department website. And the case came up and it shocked me, like, wait a minute. I remember this case. I remember what I was doing at the moment that this was reported on the radio by Mad Hatter from 97.9 to Fox. Way back when. So I'd spoke on her before, and I've done a show on her. I've done a wrap 'em up, cap 'em up on her, and I have done some like extra research and tried to make phone calls, reached out to people, but to no avail. However, I have not given up. On, and I keep her. This is the first printout that I printed out of her back 21 years ago. 21 years ago, 21 years. So back in 2001, 2021 is when I started this show. Oh my gosh. And it was in January too. So, oh my gosh. Maybe 4 years. I ain't got. Hold on. So, anywho. My beautiful soul today, y'all, is my girlfriend, Kenisha Siobhan Dixon. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Again, like I said, when this case broke back on May 9th, 2000, I know where I was. I know who I was with. And I know what I was doing. I wasn't doing anything malicious or anything, off the cuff. But it's just the fact that when this was reported, I was sitting where I was and I was like, oh, she's my age. This is, messed up. So me and my homegirls, we was like, conversing about it because we was around the same age, 20, 21 years old when this happened. So of course it hit me, right? But then here I am 21 years later, but now I'm 24 and some change, 25 in May, and we can't get nothing done. And I'm, back with it. So here we go, and it's like with this photo that I have here, she looks at me, she smiles at me, and that smile is just a beautiful smile, like a beautiful person, a beautiful soul has been taken, and for what reason? So, you know me. I like to digress. Don't judge me. Anyway, so here we go. This is Keisha Siobhan Dixon, the update. My cast fan, the one and only. Anyway, I know it's hard to believe that Kenisha Dixon's murder has not been solved. Better yet, investigated. However, upon further focused effort, I was able to gather a little information on who she was and where she comes from. Kenisha was born in Arkadelphia, Arkansas on August the 2nd, 1978. And from my understanding, she was also raised there. Kenisha moves to Houston, Texas 2 months before her murder. So that makes it around March of 2000 when she moves here. And nobody, thought nothing of it, I'm assuming, because she just moves here. And, so everything seemed like it was pretty cool. So, and it was said that she was running away from a situation that she was also, so, excuse me, I'm sorry, I jumped again. She was running away from a situation that she was afraid of. She was afraid for her life, and that's the truth. And they couldn't understand, like, who was she afraid of? I could never understand that. Like, as I read the stories and I try to find more and more and more on this story, which is so difficult. I can never understand, like, okay, if you knew she was running from somebody, who was she running from? And why? Because if you know she's running from somebody, then of course you know who she's running from, because she's running from somebody. That's why she moved here. She was here for 2 months, a total of 2 months. And this is the only photo that I can find on her. There's nothing else out there on her except this little bitty bit of a story. Okay. So she was running from a situation and she was afraid for her life. So we all wonder why on May 9th, 2000, Kenisha Siobhan Dixon was gunned down when she answered her front door. It is unclear who called the authorities to report the body, as well as it is unclear if anyone was in the apartment with her at the time of the shooting. However, it is clear that there was a gun located near her body, and this gives the police reason to believe that she answered the door holding the gun. Now, the gun is near the body, so you have to just assume that near the body means close enough to the body to where it could be in grab and like in reach of her, because she answers the door supposedly holding this gun and gets gunned down when she answers the door. Was she in fear for her life? And the authorities believe this is the case. Upon speaking with her roommate for all that she had for all of 2 months where she lived, he confirms that the gun did belong to him, but he didn't know why she had it with her. And he doesn't know they blah 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 blah. Because look, it gets exciting because they don't even specify if the roommate was home at the time of the shoot or if she was home alone. It's not stated. That's not stated. All it is that he says that's his gun. So we don't know exactly where he was at the time. But on that fateful day, the authorities canvassed the area, talking to the residents of the apartment complex. And the apartments is on the 10,000 block of West Forum. Those are the apartments that she lived in, and she lived in apartment 163. So if that sounds familiar, I googled the location on the map. I can't say I can state out the name of the apartment complex because they never mentioned the name of the complex in the information that I was able to gather. Mind you, if you have been following me with my cases with this case here, you know that I have contacted the Houston Police Department. I've reached out, I've called several times, left several messages to get some kind of information or an update on this case. At least tell the public that you're working on it. At least tell the public that you're working so we can know that, at least y'all taking shit. That you're taking this stuff serious. How are we supposed to know this if here we are 25 years later and you're not even answering phone calls or returning messages to concerned citizens? such as myself. So I'm gonna keep putting the picture back up there because if you remember her back in from 2000 from 2000, it had to be somebody that's not, that anyway. So the 10,000 block of West Forum apartment number 163. The police also claim to have gained a sufficient amount of information on the case. However, no information has been released to the public, nor do they have anyone in custody for this, let alone a person of interest. So what kind of information did you gather that is sufficient for this case? It's insanity. So Kenisha is from Kenisha is from Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Say that 5 times fast. She had a family who loved her. Her father, Thurman Dixon Jr., who has since passed on, and her mother, Patsy Dixon, who I have no information on her except but to find her name in her daddy's obituary. So I don't know who the mother is and what her condition is. They didn't state her mother's name in the obituary and of her father. And how I found out that it was her father. Well, let me keep going. Anyway, in the father Thurman's obituary. She has a sister named Crystal Richards, and Crystal has 3 children, whose information I also found in this obituary. Kenisha belonged and she mattered, and we can no longer sit idle and allow her murder to mean nothing. If you know any of her family from Arkansas, please reach out to them and let them know that someone is doing what they can to bring her case back to the forefront. It is so strange that the minimal amount of information attainable on Kenisha's life is a tragedy. You can't find anything on this young lady. The way I was able to find and to gather the information, the little bit of history on her, is because of the name of her father kept popping up in the Google search engine. I don't want to say it. Let me say it. So I would Google Kenisha's obituary, Kenisha Dixon's crime scene, Kenisha Dixon homicide. I would Google all that and I would get the same this. This is all there is on the interweb regarding Kenisha. Every time I put a name and then it's Thurman Dixon Jr. pop up, Thurman Dixon Jr. So one day I said, we'll just open it. So I open it up and it's the obituary for Thurman Dixon Jr. And I don't mind reading obituaries. So I talk about the dead all the time. So yeah, I'm gonna read about if I can find, for how you died, Thurman. I'm nosy. I'm nosy. So reading obituary, I see that he, talks about the people that he left behind. And then it goes down talk about the people who preceded him in death. Lord, behold, there is Kenisha Siobhan Dixon, his daughter, who has preceded him in death. So I'm like, dang, that's her daddy. Found the daddy, found the sister, found the nieces and nephews, all that, because his obituary, his name kept popping up every time I put her name in my search. So hey, divine intervention if I must. So here we go. Why does the Houston Police Department feel that it is necessary to leave out all of the information about Kenisha? No information about her at all. But had she been a white lady, that's me moving my backdrop. Excuse me. Had she been a white lady, ... Do not let me start. And that is what I wrote. Do not let me start. Anyway, I have contacted the Houston Cold Case Division multiple times, and I have left voice messages each time. I still have not been responded to. I'm not sure if it's because I'm just a little nobody to these people and not important enough for consideration. And I wrote this. But am I important enough for consideration, or they just don't care enough about Kenisha to even be bothered? Is it because she's not from Houston, so you don't care? What is it? She was murdered here in Houston. So you owe it to the state of Arkansas to figure out what happened to their resident when their resident decided to come to Texas, County of Harris, City of Houston. Whatever their reasoning for not calling me back is beyond me. I truly hate to call people out, but I am looking to talk to her sister, Crystal Richards. Crystal was once married to Damon Richards because, again, like I said, I did my research. So she was married to Damon Richards. They're from Missouri City. If you know them, please let them know that somebody is interested in bringing their sister's case to the forefront. Now, I can't provide the justice. I can just do what I can do to get attention brought to her case so they can pull it back up and start looking at it again. And it may be fresh eyes can give you fresh evidence. I like that, you know. So, just in case you see, if anyone who sees this video, anyone who watches this video, and if you watched it this far, oh, I didn't have a picture this whole time. Anybody who has watched this video, anyone watching the video, and if you made it this far in this video, please, Crystal Richards or Damon Richards, and they are related to Kenisha Siobhan Dixon. Please let them know to reach out to Cass. This is how they can reach me at Santis7production@gmail.com. Just let them know somebody is really, really, talking about your sister, bringing her up, trying to, get some kind of movement towards her case, because I really want movement towards her case. It's ridiculous. 25 years. Come on. You know how much life she has missed in 25 years? I can tell you, 25 years of life. 25 years of life. She would have been 46, going on 47 this year. So, if you can, please let her know that Cass would like to talk to her. Trying to reach out to her to see if she's interested in helping me to, help with her sister. But if you do know any information about the case or about the situation, or if you were around at that time and you can remember when this happened, please don't hesitate to reach out to Crime Stoppers. And the numbers are scrolling across the dash down at the bottom. I don't want to repeat the numbers because I already know what they're going to do. Nothing. They're not going to answer your phone call, and they're not even going to return a message if you decide to leave a voicemail. So, if you don't feel like wasting your time with them people, you don't have to. You can always reach out to Cass at Santis7production@gmail.com and put in the search engine. I mean, not the search engine. Lord have mercy. The subject bar, Foxxx Files or whatever the case is. I'll open it, I'll read it, and I'll get back with you, and we'll figure this out. However we can figure it out, we'll figure it out, and we'll figure it out. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming this far, and that was my beautiful souls, Miss Kenisha Dixon. Kenisha Siobhan Dixon, murdered in her front door. Right? All right. So next, we are moving on along. Now, we get to talk about girls, sister girls. It's time to go to my next segment, which is my dear sisters. ... This is my letter to let you know that you are not forgotten. Complete title. Oh, pardon me. So let me begin. I'm gonna put up Cass H down. As I start the new season, I want to do Dear Sister a little different. Yes, I will be speaking about murdered Black American ladies, but I want to do something I've never done before. And let's talk about man. Yes. I want to talk about a man on my segment today because this man has been able to destroy the lives of at least 93 women within a span of 35 years. And we don't even know his name. Let's get at it. So yeah, I'm doing a little different today. We'll talk about this guy. Let's talk about this guy. Title: America's most notorious serial killer, comma, and we don't know his name. by Cass. From the 1970s to 2005, some 93 women were strangled by the hands of one single individual. Mm. He was a man, not just any man, y'all. He wasn't known as just a man. Nope. He was known as the world's most prolific serial killer. This guy is known as the world's most prolific serial killer. But we know about Ted Bundy, we know about Ed Gein, we know about Charles Manson, we know about these serial Jack the Ripper. You know what I'm saying? Was it the pantyhose guy and the Night Stalker? We know about all these people. We don't know about this guy. But what does not shock me and yet baffles me is the fact that the only people who has this man's name etched in their memory bank, is those of the people of Texas and the news outlets that reported on the cases, but not that long. You ain't talking about them that long. Who you talking about? Like, girl, would you please tell me who you talking about? For sure. This guy, Samuel Little. Uh-oh, y'all, hold on. My banner. Nope. Yep. Nope. Oh, my banner. Here we go. This is the banner. Dear sister. The victim of Samuel Little, my dear sister. Yes, he began his murderous spree in Homestead, Florida, long ago, back in 1970. And he murdered again and again in 1970 in Florida, and he moved on and on and on as recent as up to 2005. But here we go. But get this. Get this. So throughout the years, the decades, that this man is able to grab, snatch, and do it. He strangle these ladies and just throw them down in the woods, because he says he leaves them in the woods. So throughout all these years, this guy, check this out, is able to get locked up, released, and do it again. But see, he's not being, he's not going to jail for any of these cases. They don't even know about him and these cases. So he was not okay. So they don't even know about him. So throughout these years, this guy was arrested 15, 16 times. And that's the only time he don't murder. And that's pretty much the only time they don't find these ladies is when he's locked up. But the thing is, he was not local. He was not a local somebody. He was not. So when he just stops. Completely just stops murdering in 2005, And then I'm not going to say start living his best life, because he's addicted to drugs and he's, pillar to post. He got all that going on between 2005 until he gets arrested in 2012 on a unrelated drug charge. So he gets arrested on this drug charge in 2012. And it's when they process his fingerprints and gather his DNA, put it in coders. He digging all over the place. it's like a Christmas tree lit up. You feel me? So now they're like, wait a minute. What do we have here? We think we have a regular, just old regular. No, we don't have that. We got, So now he has been convicted and he is serving 3 consecutive life sentences starting in 2012. Okay. So, starting 2012. 3 consecutive life sentences, but his DNA and his fingerprints keep dinging. So now it's like it's too much evidence that it going against this guy, but he's not talking to nobody. He's not saying nothing, not a word, until 2018, when they guarantee him no death penalty. Him. They said, "We're not gonna give you no death penalty. We're just gonna continue to stack up on these lives." You know what I'm saying? So once he found out that he was no longer gonna receive the death penalty, that's when he began to unravel just how vicious he is, just how brutal he was, and then the type of individual that he really was. You know, he was known to say that okay, he said he strangled these ladies with his hands. They asked him, they tried to play him doing one of these interrogations and throw a case in here. Well, this lady was shot, so it was like, oh, she was this that. And put the picture in front of him. He picked the picture up. He said, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember her, but I didn't kill her." He said, "I was going to, but when I came back, she was gone, so I didn't kill her." So they knew he wasn't playing games. And then a lot of the things that he was saying, kind of only the killer would know. You know what I'm saying? And he was on point with a lot. And say for many years, Samuel Little believed that he would not get caught because of the type of women that he was going for was women he knew nobody would care for. They wouldn't even be accounting for his victims because they were their deaths when they were found, and that's in all of these different states and cities. When when these ladies were originally found, they just attributed it to overdose, accidental death, or undetermined causes. Nobody even cared about the fact that these ladies had particular hemorrhaging in their eyes. They didn't think about that. They didn't think about the fact that they just might have had some handprints, you know what I'm saying, around their throat. They didn't even think about that. What they thought about was the fact that these are black ladies of the night on drugs, uh, whatever. And some of them wasn't even that case. You know, when I read through and I see what a lot of these ladies. So they say even though he was already in prison, they believe that they can still seek justice for these victims, because they can still close these cases because they got him, they have him, and he was being interrogated and he was running his mouth and he was talking about what he had going on and he was letting him have it and he was describing it and so I have created just a small 1-minute video of the sketches that Samuel Little drew out of several of his victims. Out of the 93, 50 of the confessions have been confirmed. 50 of the bodies have been confirmed, and 50 of the ladies have been laid to rest. But there's still 43 that he talks about, he spoke on, and that they have these ladies, so but they still have yet to identify them. I did not put them all, but I did put some. So if you please just give me a minute of your time and let's and like I said, that's just some. That's just some. I didn't even put the rest up. I have them, but I didn't put the rest of them up there. That's okay because we're gonna get this. We're gonna get them out there. We're gonna try to help get this solved. So the FBI is asking that if you have any information or can remember anything about any of these cases, or if any of your family members were affected, excuse me, by this, or if you had anyone come up missing in your life at that time, uh, from 1970 to 2005. I know, it's ridiculous, but from 1970 to 2005, and if you are a group of ladies hanging out together and you remember this man walking up to you and your group of friends, please do not hesitate to call the FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. They really, really need your help because we have at least 43 ladies in these jurisdictions that have yet to be, identified. Samuel Little. Samuel Little, ladies and gentlemen. So, my dear sisters, victims of Samuel Little, this letter is to let you know that you are not forgotten. You're not forgotten. You know, we have to realize that and remember that, and we have to police ourselves. We have to make sure that we hold ourselves accountable for the things that we do, and then individuals accountable for things that they do. So, if you have any information on any kind of crimes or any kind of solutions to anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to Crime Stoppers. Your tip will be anonymous, or you can call the HPD cold case. They most likely will answer your call. I hate to be like that, but that again, maybe it's just me. They might answer you and answer me. But if you are the type of person like I am sometimes and don't really want to talk to the man, ain't interested in them knowing anything about you, reach out to me, Cass at santy7production@gmail.com. I will reach back out. I will answer to you. We will figure something out. We will, because I'm nosy like that. I'm an investigator. Anyway, so that was my show, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you oh so much for tuning into Foxxx Files Cold and Unsolved. I hope you enjoyed Did You Know, which was the Crime Victims Compensation Program. And if, my dear sister, my beautiful soul, Kenisha Dixon, and then my dear sister, victims of Samuel Little. I hope you enjoyed the show. I enjoy giving it to you. I enjoy bringing it to you. If you made it this far, thank you so much. And please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any kind of, anything, talk to me. Any questions, comment. Let's do it. I'm here. I'm Cass. H-Town's Army Brat.